Sister, 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 sister talk, sister, 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 sister talk, sister, 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 sister talk, sister, 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 sister talk. Something on your mind anytime. I'm here to listen. Sister talk. When you need someone who understands, I know what you're missing. Sister talk.
And today is Sister Talk TV show. And remember to call in and ask a question. We have some amazing women. 212-757-1393. And here sitting with me is Ina Norris. Sister girl, I've been knowing her for
a long time.
Girl, it ain't been a long time.
No, that's right. Well, it's still 21, right?
Yeah, we're still 21.
No, but I don't mind knowing that I've known you for such a long time and seen you do wonderful, amazing things.
You too. You're
I'm
a hustler.
really loving it.
Yeah,
you know, to meet somebody full circle, and they're still doing it because too many people give up.
Okay, enough
dreams.
about you.
About you. About you. It's about you.
So Ina Norris is a playwright, producer, and educator. She's president and founder of her company, In a Woman's Production. Fabulous, fabulous plays about women. You know, very good plays. But she's here to discuss her second Kwanzaa Film Festival, which will be on December 30th.
Yes, we're doing the Kwanzaa Film Festival in Harlem at 228 East 125th Street. And our film festival, the theme basically is we accept submissions that at least show one of the principles. So if your film shows unity or self-determination, cooperative economics, collective work and responsibility, purpose, faith, creativity, we will actually take your submission in. And one of the reasons is that we wanted to see more content that has like purpose-driven films. So we're trying to encourage that. So we also have workshops. We have several workshops at the Kwanzaa Film Festival. We're doing the Black Independent Filmmakers Survival Guide.
Wow, Black Independent Filmmakers, okay.
Yeah, and then we're also doing sexuality in cinema, how Black women are being depicted in front of the camera. We're doing how to become an extra actor and get sustainable income, which is important.
The extras, mind you, are those people that walk by. That's a lot of work.
Yeah. Yes, it is. I've done it.
That's a lot of work, and we don't get the credit that they deserve.
And one that I really love, collaborating and creating film in Africa. So there are a number of producers are now working alongside producers in Africa that are here, and I think that workshop's going to be pretty special. And I probably missed one. Okay. Did I name 5?
See, you're one of those women that's always doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to, there's going to also be opportunities to talk about things right after the film. The filmmakers will be there. We'll be doing questions and answers. And we have like a mini Kwanzaa Film Festival showcase on December 6th in Jersey at Essex County College. And we're going to just be showing 7 films there for each principal. Can I name some of them?
Sure, you sure can.
Oh, so sorry.
Go ahead.
The saxophonist is going to be representing a film that shows unity.
The saxophonist? That's a short film.
It's a short film by Andre Joseph. Then we're doing For the Love of Music by Chad Quinn, and he's representing Kujichagulia. Ujima Collective Work and Responsibility, Paris Blues Harlem. I know you may have heard about it with Nadej Bata, because she's done it a couple of places. And then First Fruit, yours truly, which is represent cooperative economics.
You directed it, or
I directed it and wrote it.
And wrote it? Okay.
Yes. And
so this is your first film?
It's the first film that I've done by myself. I've done dabble in film for the last 3 or 5 years, but I'm really a theater person. But I don't really call myself a theater person. I call myself a media person because I want to reach out to people. It's not about whether it's a play or a film. I want to, whatever it takes to let people hear what you're trying to convey. So, I mean, I know everybody knows me for plays, but I've been dabbling in film as well. And then for Purpose, we have a film called Circus with Edric Brown and Munda Webb. and then Kuumba Matriarch with Shahid, and our 7th film, Era, Christian Dixon. Now, I don't want to announce the other films in the 30th because they're not announced yet, so I want them to find out who got in and who didn't, but I will name some. We're going to do Word is Bond by Sasha Jenkins, and we're going to do the Blade Barkley documentary about Ivan Barkley. He wound up being a heavyweight and he wound up being homeless, and he had to build himself up. And that principle of faith, of not giving up and really not wanting to remain in his situation is a story of faith. So we look for those principles in the film. Not only for me, even the workshops symbolize the principle. Every workshop really has a symbolizing some type of principle, because I really discovered that if you look at the 7 principles and you're building a business, if you're building a relationship, if you're building a community, if you use those 7 principles, you're going to be successful. So if you can know that you want to do something and put collective work and responsibility on the table before you get started, you're going to have a better business. If you put faith, so why not in the film industry? Why don't we? I'm doing this to create unity, creating one family. Let's come together as filmmakers. A lot of times, filmmakers feel very isolated. Same thing with theater, but theater has their community. You see, you reach out and touch. You go in the studio and you go out in the street and do a film, and then you go back home and you got to wait for an audience. So I don't think I think, you know, something like one more festival. I think we don't have enough festivals for everybody. There's a lot of filmmakers that they complete a project and it sits on the table for years.
Because everybody's trying to get to Cannes.
And that's the thing. Another thing, if you look at the principles of why you're doing something, you won't just try to get to Cannes. You try to get to the people. Cannes and Sundance, you try to get to the people. How can I effectively get to the people? And being really realistic, if you have, you know, if you're using cooperative economics, collective work and responsibility, having a sense of purpose, having unity in your project, having faith, you know what I mean? And creativity is not just about Cannes. So Sundance, it becomes about how do we effectively get this to the community. And if Cannes is part of that or Sundance is part of that, but it might be the Kwanzaa Film Festival. Last year, the first one, I remember we did a show on the N-word. It was a film called It's Just a Word. And I ran into this father about 2 months ago. And he came up to me, he said, I was at your film festival, and I have never used the N-word again after that. So when you are just trying to get somewhere, you forget about the journey and all the people you could touch along the way if you're just trying to get to Hollywood. So you know, this is an opportunity for you to realize that you are doing something even when it's at infant stage. You are helping someone and it's purposeful. So that's why the Kwanzaa Film Festival to me can be very relevant, and hopefully it will grow stronger and stronger each and every year, and also throughout the year I plan to do some events around it.
How many more minutes we have, Rhonda? I can't see that. 2 minutes? Okay, so what's the, so you do this every year?
Well, this is our 2nd year.
Okay.
And it's building
so
steam.
It's annual.
It's growing,
this is
right?
Going to
It's annual, but we will do some like pop-up films along the way. And as you know, I'm going to still be doing my plays. So I'm talking about putting.
I was about to say,
I am. But and I'm also. I wrote another film called The Last Tango in Harlem. I haven't put that out there yet, and I have a couple of other projects. I want to do something about the young Joe Louis, the prize fighter, and I have some projects, but it's really not about me. I really just know how isolating it can be to be an artist, and I think that we really need to build community and start. If you have, you know, if you give me a coat and hat, and you give me a dress, and I am standing in the snow with no shoes on, you're not meeting my needs. Right? So there are some people that don't have an attachment in their work. They don't have a celebrity person in their work. Their budget was $5,000 or less or $1,000 or less. And yet, and still, a story is a story. When I go to bed at night and my grandmother told me the story, I still fell asleep in contentment. So if a person can tell a story and spend $1,000 to tell a story, why shouldn't someone hear it?
So you got your storytelling from your grandma?
Because I'm using her as an example, but I think really honestly, from my father, more so my father and my grandmother, probably in a way, they told stories about their life.
Yes.
But in terms of creatively telling a story, I would say my father.
Right.
Yeah, yes.
I wanted to share, we have to wrap this up, but yeah, I got to share this with you. I always thought I got my creativity from my father's side of the family, and I didn't know who I was until I went to a family reunion in Georgia many moons ago. But anyway, I now realize that it was my mother, because she would tell us stories about slavery, but use our names in it. You know, like John would be snatched away, or Christina would be snatched away.
Okay.
So that really just affected me as a young person.
Right.
But, you know, how can people get in contact with you?
Well, they can go on the website, KwanzaaFilmFestival.net, or they can call. Can I give my number out?
Oh, sure.
917-995-2936. We're taking submissions up to December 7th. So if you want to submit a film, please. If you want to attend, please give us a call.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You will be back later on today to talk hot topics. So stay tuned, everybody. I know you all will call then. Thank you. I know it's good seeing you guys. Just stay right here. Don't
so much.
No, but I'm glad.
We didn't even get to make a phone call. You know what? No, what it was is that.
Thank you all. Video's coming pretty soon. But we don't talk. Go ahead.
Don't worry, I ain't going nowhere. If you ever feel alone, say the word, I'll be right there. Sister talk, sister, 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 sister talk, sister, 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 sister talk, sister, 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 sister talk, sister, sister, sister. Ooh, sister talk.